Hey, what up, gang? What up? Hey, what up, gang? What up? Alright, got that.
What's the point in super hard down there if you're not even?
Hey, what up, gang? What up?
What's the point in super hard down there if you're not even?
Hey, what up, gang? What up? Instagram does not want us to look proper.
Mood for sex.
Actually, I guess that does kind
Oh, what we gonna hop into tonight? Nah, I'm not gonna talk about Diddy too much. I know where we can start though. I know what I do need to do. Turn my notifications off. I'm gonna just let a few people come in. Let me hit Discord up real quick.
I guess that does kind of make sense.
That's
All right, let's hop into it. How y'all doing tonight?
do anything for that.
But you're saying this one does.
Where we at? Here we go. I know. We got some news right here. See if I can put this on the screen. Diddy bond request denied. Judge claims Diddy cannot prove that he is not a danger to the community. That's kind of rude. See what the comments says. I don't want you that big. I want you smaller. He's guilty of prostitution, so we'll see how much of the book they throw at him for prostitution. You know, it's funny. The reason I'm pulling this up because it kind of goes into the pod that we had yesterday was how forgiving or unforgiving is the black community. Let's see here. Because he is a danger and the judge knows that he's about to get the max. Good. Yes. Thank you. Because what the fuck? Now, be mindful. This is the neighborhood talk audience, right? So this audience is probably not the most pro-male audience out there. Let's see here. Well, that is a good sign. He might actually face some real time. But no, that was just the news. Diddy's bail is denied. I don't really care either way. Puffy has never really been, the type of guy that you ever heard a lot of good things about. So him being denied bail, I don't really care. I don't really care. Yeah, he was found not guilty of most, and I thought honestly, I thought he would be. Just the way that they presented the trial, it's kind of messy, to be honest, for professionals. TA tip of the night. I know we always start with a TA tip, y'all. It has been that kind of week. I ain't even gonna lie. It's been that kind of week everywhere. Like, I used to look at people at the airport on Thanksgiving and be like, "Dang man, where are they going? Why are they not with their family?" I get it. I used to think they didn't have family. They absolutely had family. They were getting away. It's been that kind of week. TA tip of the week. Do not get fired for your job by cussing out one of your coworkers. That's the best tip I have because it's that kind of week right now. So TA tip of the week. Don't cuss out your coworkers and get fired. That is my suggestion. Before you send that text message or that chat or that IM that recorded, like I can't tell you how many times today I had typed up a message and I was just like, you know what, I need to just wait for the meeting. I need to just wait for the meeting. There's no reason to press send on this. So TA tip of the week, man. Don't be professional, man. Don't get fired from your job before you get a new job. But how are y'all doing this week? Y'all can drop anything in the chat y'all want to discuss. I do have a clip that I actually want to play. Actually our clip. Since we talked about Diddy, let's hop into one of our clips actually. Now, one of the things that y'all know about me is I tell y'all all the time, I'm a free speech absolutist. All right. Now, what that means is I don't think that there's anything that you should really hold back whenever you want to talk about something or have a speech. Right. I don't believe in censorship. I think censorship sounds good on the surface. We think it works well. But it always ends up censoring things according to people's ideologies. So the only way around that, in my opinion, is to be a free speech absolutist, which means you kind of got to let everything fly, right? Especially the things that you disagree with. So this topic that we had right here was basically there was a local promotions company and they played an R. Kelly song. And they ended up writing this long apology towards it. Let's just play it real quick.
Oh, yeah, there's Charlotte. A statement. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 paragraphs.
Honestly, I understand it. You can't play R. Kelly at parties no more, bro. It is what it is. The only time I ever hear R. Kelly out is always the older couples who have weddings. And their number one thing is they make announcements. They do. Every DJ, hey, the couple has said R. Kelly will be played. So for me, I don't expect to hear R. Kelly out, but people have made it known that, hey, we're not going to play R. Kelly. The man literally made love songs for kids. You're not getting it off. As a DJ, you don't have to have R. Kelly in your bag, your two bag.
No, you don't. You don't.
But even though somebody's requesting it, as a DJ, you have to be smart enough to say, yo, is the juice worth the squeeze? Now, the party promoters, I bet you from here on out, they're going to tell every DJ to come in, no R. Kelly. Because
Well,
what happens
absolutely.
is, if somebody who is offended, who's like, hey, I don't know what they're a victim of. I don't know what their feelings on it. I don't know their proximity to.
Yeah, again, I don't think a promotion company or a DJ should apologize. That's all, right? You can be offended. You can not like it. You can leave. Those are places that you could be, right? Mm-hmm. When you feel like you got to make a 8-paragraph public apology, I'm saying you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You can apologize to the person, and then you can go to the DJ and say, hey, no more R. Kelly today. Somebody's here that feels that they're a victim of his music, and then you move on from it. But you don't have to make a public apology, like, because again, when it's the flip side, when it's a mistake and somebody offends you, nobody's making a public apology. That's all I'm saying. I saw them make the public apology, and I was just like, what are y'all apologizing for?
Look, the wrong person get pissed off, they can make sure your parties don't happen no more.
Well, I mean, true indeed.
So that's a little clip from this week's podcast episode, and I'm going to stand by my position, man. I don't think you should apologize for playing music. Now, with that being said, only 2 party songs I know R. Kelly have is Fiesta and Ignition, and both of those go. I can't lie. Both of those songs actually go. Ignition and Fiesta, they go. So if somebody's upset about Ignition and Fiesta because it's R. Kelly, what do you do, right? If we're going to not play, and I say this on the pod, Gav was arguing the other side. I think he was just being counter-arguing for the sake of it. But there's not a lot of non-problematic artists that you can't play. Now, you could say that what R. Kelly did was unforgivable, right? I give you that. That would be fair. But what I'm saying is, if you go saying we're not going to play anybody that's problematic, you're gonna have problems in the music you read, the books you read, the philosophy you read, all that. You're gonna have problems in it. So as a free speech absolutist, we just dropped this one. I believe Gav just dropped that a few hours ago, and I'm gonna stand by that. Right? I'm not saying that you have to play it, but I am saying that the offense, right? The apology was too much, right? The public 8-page apology. I don't think they should have done that. I don't. Because again, when the reverse is true, nobody's going to come and apologize. Hey, Adrian, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. You know, it's one of those things, man. We're not red pills, so we're not over here kicking women backs in, and then we're not over here pander bearing. So we're not going to get that huge women queer following mix because I'm kicking in black men's back. So we really on the slow grind, man. And this is kind of part of the manosphere. If you're not red pill, is that it's a little bit of slower grind. But one of the things is I know that when we catch, you know, it's going to take off and it's going to last because men are way more loyal, especially upwardly mobile men, productive men. They're just way more loyal. So it's a slow grind, but we'll definitely get there. I'm not gonna cry over it, but I do appreciate you saying that. It helps to let us know that people do value what we're talking about and the things that we're saying. Trust me, that does help. Tonight we're gonna make it a little bit funny, man. I'm not gonna go too deep into the weeds tonight. I thought about it. I ain't gonna lie. I have some things that I'm really, really annoyed about in this country. One is, how y'all as in the United States of America, how y'all would not knock our interest off our student loans, but y'all seem to have a lot of money to be out here fighting other people's fights. I don't like that. I'll be honest. I don't like that. Let me see if I can pull up these two clips right here. So tonight, y'all know that on the pod that I always say, sex work is real work, right? I do not want to live in a world where there's no porn and no sex workers. I don't. Not because I like porn or sex workers, but because porn and sex workers do a very, very valuable job. Just because we don't see it being done does not mean that it's not important. It's like the people that pick up the garbage, right? The people that pick up the garbage, you never see them. But if they did not pick up the garbage, you see the garbage pile up higher and higher and higher and higher until it became unsanitary to live. That's sort of sex workers, right? They are doing the Lord's work. And I'm not using the Lord's name in vain or being blasphemy right now, right? Remember Rahab for Jericho, right? When they came into the city, who hid them? She hid them, right? They do the Lord's work. So I don't want to live in a world that there is not sex workers. With that being said, I think there's a difference between sex workers and diet sex workers. Diet sex workers don't like. I need you to commit. I need you to either be a good woman or a sex worker. Just pick a side. Just need you to pick a side. This is why Craigslist back in the day was so awesome. Because on Craigslist, they had the casual encounter section, and then they had the escort section. So whatever you was there for, right? If you wanted to try your luck and spin the wheel and have your game for the casual encounters, give it a go. See where you land. See if you can compete, right? And then they just had sex workers where you just you could just buy it. Oh man, I hope I'm not getting banned on TikTok again tonight. All right. So anyway. It was clear back in the day, right? The diet SWs have kind of muddied the waters, right? So you need a little bit more skill to navigate these new waters. Probably definitely getting banned on TikTok tonight. Let's see. Are we streaming? Yeah, we streaming over there too. All right. Let's change this topic over here on TikTok. Late night with Pastor Mike. I'm not getting off track, y'all. I know exactly where I'm at. All right. So let's play this video. This video is actually sort of funny. We're not going to go all the way through. We're going to play about 30 seconds of it. It's actually pretty good, though. All right.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. Niggas in relationships, let me tell y'all right now, yo, I'm gonna talk to the fellas. Yo, go through her phone, gang. And when you go through her phone, really go through that shit. Go through the Cash App history. Go through the Zelle history. Go through the Bluetooth. See how many niggas she been in cars with. You see BMW, Benz, Ferrari, and Lamb Chop, nigga, you know it's a problem. I'm telling you, go through the deleted messages. Go through the Uber Eats, the addresses in the Uber Eats. See how many addresses she got on Uber Eats. I'm telling y'all, I'm gonna save y'all. I'm saving niggas money and I'm saving niggas.
All right, so I don't get banned on TikTok. That was actually hilarious. I had never considered that you should go through the Uber Eats and the Cash Apps. That is legit. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. That's legit. All right. But I got a girl right here. Hold on, because y'all, I know y'all think that sometimes I'm not fair and balanced.
Accountability for how terrible the dating pool is. We started taking advice from hoes. Not the old school hoes either that was on Backpage and Craigslist. Hoes that get online showing their full face, their full government is on their page and they're telling whole stories, but they're not telling the whole story. So now women think that they man and they trick are supposed to act the same. Tricks and boyfriends, they supposed to pay rent and buy bags and buy shoes and take you out to eat 4 times a week, and it's never gonna fucking happen. Boyfriends usually ain't got no money. Tricks usually have money because they're emotionally unavailable and probably just terrible people who are only looking for power and control over a woman's body. But y'all want to take advice from these women. Y'all, now look, now men think they can buy pussy. Now when you looking for love, you go on a date, you shocked that the man think he paying for pussy by buying you filet mignon and some risotto. Yeah, we did that. We were a part of the problem. All these BBLs and stuff, y'all don't think that got something to do with how sex work and normal love life have somehow become intermingled and stuck together forever in a way that's irreparable? I'm just a bitch who smoke weed. Don't ask me nothing. It's time for women to take accountability.
Now, with that being said, I don't think it's irreparable. I don't. But I do think that part of the issue is the pulling back. I think to pull back, it's frustrating, right? It's frustrating the ladies because the ladies are used to tricks, but the diet SW is destroying the ability to date. If you got to go through her Cash Apps and Uber Eats, that is not your woman. Maybe that's the point. Like the point is, a lot of men are believing that that's their woman. It's not their woman. It's not their woman. But I like the game. But between what she said and what the other guy was saying was like, you know what? It is the diet. It's the diet X work that's ruining dating. What do y'all think? What do y'all think is actually ruining dating right now? I do think it's the commingling of taking advice from literal pros, right? Like these young ladies are actual pros online, right? Like, I mean, link in bio, majority of the time, dropping hardcore dating advice. That is insane. This would be like. That would be like men taking freedom advice from felons, right? Definitely materialism. And social media played a huge part in that, right? With the materialism, right? Because one thing that people don't know is like, yo, for a 30-second clip, right? It takes people sometimes, half an hour, 45 minutes to put that clip together, right? To make it look like it's just that easy. So when you brought the literal link in bios, right? When you brought the link in bios, to the dating pool, right? And the link in bios are actually explaining to the ladies, hey, these are the things that you should expect, right? And like the young lady in the pink said, they're not telling the whole story, right? It's a lot that's being left out when you're doing diet sex work. It's a lot that's being left out of that conversation. The men who pay for expensive first dates take her to go get coffee. A lot of them do not want to go for a coffee, Mimi. Like that's the problem. Like you tell a woman you want to meet out for coffee, she's going to say no unless she's really, really into you. If a woman's really into you, you can take her anywhere, right? You can say, hey, I want to go to the grocery store. Meet me there. She's going to meet you there. But when you're trying to vie for affection and attention, that requires a little bit of courting. Hot girl summer changed the game. Had poor Steph Curry crashing out. Yeah, she did. She did. Only take advice from a marriage or relationship therapist. You don't need to be listening to women online. They don't know. They get mad about that coffee date. Yeah, they do get mad about that coffee date. They really, really do. But I mean, she had a very, very valid point. Is that it's the link in bio women out here giving dating advice. Michaela, watch what you say, Pastor. I'm trying, Michaela. I'm trying. I'm gonna have to stay away from TikTok. I'm gonna have to just stay on Instagram and YouTube. Eventually, we're gonna get it all over to YouTube. But the link in bios are given 100%. They're not giving the best at dating advice, but they are giving the dating advice that goes the most viral. And who would be responsible for trying to rein that in, right? Who like as a community, like an online dating community, right? Not even white or black, just an online dating community. Whose job it is to rein in the link in bios advice? If she don't go for coffee, she doesn't like you. I agree. Sadly, for women who want to date and not get men who refuse to be Johns, it's something that has to be figured out. I don't like this going at everyone's neck. All right. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with women. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with men. But I do think we have to look at the culture and say, hey, there's something wrong with the culture. Right? That we do have to say. There's something wrong with the culture. How do we fix that? How do we go about fixing that? And I think the first thing that we should do is be able to say, hey, we do have to stop getting advice from link in bios. Like, I would not take marriage advice from a pimp. I don't think women should do the reverse of that. I don't think they should be taking relationship advice from a link in bio. Maybe I would say it's probably going to fall on the ladies. Yeah, I want to take marriage advice from a pimp. Like, hey man, hey, can you tell me how to keep my wife? Like, what do you think he's gonna tell me? Like, he's not going to give me good advice. Now here's the thing. He's probably gonna tell me something that I like to hear, right? Right? He's gonna say something slick. It's gonna rhyme. It's gonna end in a low level of violence, right? Like all that. Right? It's gonna be funny, but it's not good advice. Why? Because he's a pimp. So why are we letting the link in bios give us dating advice? Maybe say I'm tired. I think we all are tired. I think we all are tired. Maybe say women are not the teachers of it, but they do have some responsibility and they have a lot of responsibility in it. You know, one of the things that I always tell y'all on this pod, right? Everybody gets all their credit. So it's not a hating pod. It's not a pod where we blame anybody for anything, but you're going to get your credit. Everybody is going to get their credit. As men, we've bought in too much into the egalitarianism. We thought that was a thing. We thought that's what women liked. They don't. They don't. So we all have a part to play. But when the men are discussing things with the men, right? Like as a guy, if I'm sitting here and I'm having a conversation and saying, "Hey, this is what we need to do as men," what I don't need is people that are not men having an opinion on it, right? And vice versa. Influence is probably just well, I mean, here's the thing, right? But that's social media influences, yeah. Link in bio influencers. Because I'm gonna have to clean up my language for TikTok. Almost certain they probably gonna ban me for another 30 days. Have no idea what I can't say over there. But that's why all these other words have came alive, unalive, grape. It's because of TikTok. Freaking Chinese. But as I told y'all, I'm a free speech absolutist, but the Chinese are not. But I don't think it's irreparable. I think we can be fine. But I think here's the thing. I think men have to create a line in the sand and say, all right, we're gonna pull back and not accept, these type of behaviors, right? Then there's gonna be a lot of kicking and screaming and sign language, right? But eventually, I think that the women will, acquiesce to the demands of the good men. And I think once that happens, now you allow men to handle men, right? I think the problem in the community is that when it comes to bad men, the only thing that men can really do is separate. You can't really handle the men. You can only really separate for them, because like when you try to handle a guy that's a bad guy, but he plays the pander game, right? Now you got this whole screaming match of, while you're insecure, he's not insecure, you need to go away. So I think a lot of what you have is just guys just pulling back. In general, productive guys, top third of men, just saying, "Hey, we're gonna back off," and let the environment low key kind of implode upon itself. Because when it started imploding upon itself, we know who's going to be requested to come in and help. And I think most men are not going to run in to help, when that happens. And if it's one thing that I know that women are good at, it's self-preservation. So if men just back out, let the panda bears, kind of run it. Let the simps kind of run it. They're going to do what panda bears and simps do, which is not be masculine, not take care of their community, not take care of the environment. And once you look around and you say, well, where are the top third of men? Right? For that safety, the thing that's most important to women, they're going to have to seek it out. And I think that's why I'm saying I don't think it's irreparable. Because I think when that happens, I think now you can start back rebuilding your community. Yeah, I agree, June. That's why that's why they're not. That's why they're not approaching and pursuing. Relentless. Appreciate you popping in, bro. Appreciate you. Well, that's the thing with me. I'm not a like cut you off type forever person, but I think the pulling back, right? Because you have to have a desire. You have to have a desire to be with me. You have to have a desire to want to follow me, right? And I think a lot of men are understanding that, right? Low key submission has always been created as something that's negative, right? And it's not. Submission isn't you forcing someone to do anything. That's it's not the definition of submission. You know, one of the submission, if you think of it in a religious sense, right? Like the Creator does not force anybody to do anything. He just simply says, hey, you do these things this way, you get to be over here with me. You don't do these things this way, well, you get to be wherever you land. Right? So the submission have always been just a desire to be with the person that you want to be with, right? It's just that's all submission is. It's just a desire to be with the person you want to be with. So you do the things that it takes to be with the person that you want to be with. So I think what men are saying is like, yeah, I know I can't force, you know, a woman to do anything, right? I'm just requesting you to want to be where I am. And in order to be where I am, you need to do the things that I need from you to do, right? You can't do what you want to do, right, and be with me. You can do what you want to do and be with you, but you can't do what you want to do and be with me. And I think it's good that men are pulling back, right? But I think it's also good that men actually learn a lot of these definitions that have kind of been taken and reassigned to negative things. Right? The cooperation that has to go on, you know, in a relationship. The understanding that has to go on in a relationship. One of my favorite proverbs, it's an old African proverb, and it says, the best teachers tell you where to look, but they don't tell you what to see. Right? The best teachers tell you where to look, but they don't tell you what to see. Because they want you to see with your eyes what's over there, right? And one of the gifts of being the teacher is you get all these perspectives back from students, right? So you're able to now have 20 different perspectives because even though you are the leader, right? But they're also giving you information back and they're teaching you. And that's sort of how a relationship is supposed to be, right? We can't say, you know, all the women want to date up, right? Well, in order for women to date up, that means that the man has to be elevated, right? Part of that elevation could be we both start in the same place, but through your giving of gifts to me, right? Your submission, you elevate me, right? So I can become what you desire. Anyway, I'm about to rant. We're 36 minutes in. That's all I got. Hope y'all enjoyed tonight. I'll be back next Wednesday. As these go along, by the end of the year, they'll be better. Graphics could be better. Topics will be better. I don't know what platform we're on. Hopefully, I do not get kicked off of TikTok tonight. Look at my boy. My boy done came over and locked in over there. Hey, appreciate you. I see you. But that's all I got, man. If y'all think of anything, hey, always feel free to hit me up at Pastor Mike Will, Instagram, Twitter. Feel free to lock in, jump in on it. Always feel free to hit up Black Dads Club. If you're having a rough week, like the week that I had this week, feel free to hit us up. Need to knock on some wood. I need this to end. Like need that thing to turn the dime back to the good side. But hey, that's all I got tonight, fam. I appreciate y'all. Hey, good night. Love y'all so much. Appreciate y'all chiming in. Let me read this comment before I get out of here. I think that men are finally descendant women. It's no wonder that the flesh work influencers. I like that. Flesh work influencers. I like that. That might keep me from getting kicked off of TikTok. Men no longer center women and they simply are living their lives. That is true. But with that being said, though, man, we need women, man. Like, as a man, nothing makes your life better when you have a solid woman. It's a simple fact of life, right? It really is. Like, when you have a good woman in your presence, it really just, I mean, I don't know, man. The oxytocin just goes into overload. So, no doubt, as a married man, yeah, like I look forward to being remarried, but it has to be to a good woman, though, because the Bible also says it's better to live on the corner of a rooftop than to be in a house with a contentious woman. That's actually a proverb. I'm not making that up. But I'm about to get out of here. I'm going to end on that right there because I don't even want to rebuttal. Hey, holla at your boy.